WTF, welcome to Funkatopia. Hope you guys all are doing very, very well. I am your host, Mr. Christopher. This is Jeff Page.
How's it going, everybody?
Man, we're just kind of cutting up pre-show here before we go live. And tonight we're going to have some fun. We're actually going to be doing a soundstage. I'm going to share with you some brand new funk music that's out there that I think you should check out and add to your playlist and whatnot. Plus, on top of that, we're going to be doing a little bit of a tribute to Kat. Hello, all you fine folks that have been here since whenever. April, you've been here for a minute. That's also cool. Cassandra, Kimberly from West Fargo, North Dakota. One of my favorite movies, Fargo. Wow. Anna B, Susan from Iowa, and Christina from Minneapolis. Yeah, a lot of people there.
They're just having all kinds of issues today.
What are you doing? What's happening?
Nothing good.
What was that? I mean, I know. Are you like replaying the intro? What's happening here? It's kind of like
Yeah, it was. I opened up. I had to close a window, but I had to go to the page first.
And now your voice is all crackly and robotic.
It was crackly. That's why I was checking. Why is that happening?
I don't know. Sounds like a loose connection in their microphone.
That's all right. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, don't talk for the night. That's fine. Gene from Chicago, Sue from Southern California, Revolution 86 from New York City. New York City, get a rope. Speaking of New York, go Mets, baby. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, look, you know what?
No, right?
Like, you know what? Look, I know I'm in Atlanta. Y'all know that. You guys know that I am a Falcons fan. When we talk about football, I'm a Falcons fan. I'm cursed that way. It's all good. It's all good. And when it comes to baseball, I do like the Braves, but come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. The Mets. Go Mets.
Wow.
And another thing too is that the Braves got to play San Diego, and then they're going to be playing Los Angeles. And when they get to LA, that guy, what's that guy's name? Somebody will know here. Otanu or whatever that guy's name is. This guy he is like this player from another planet. He literally plays every single position, including pitcher, and he is like a monster. It's just, he hits home runs whenever. It's like the Babe Ruth of like, I'm going to hit it over there. It's just ridiculous. Otani. Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, I don't really follow the Dodgers much, but I don't normally follow. There's two sports that I don't follow until it gets towards the end, and that is baseball and basketball. Until it gets into like, the 16 or 8, I just can't. It's just too many games for me, man. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to somebody? You're muted. Oh, you're totally muted. Okay, that's all good. We can do it. Yeah, you're back. Anita says, "Go Vikes in London, UK." That's right. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings, who are 4-0,
and the Jets.
Going to be playing the Jets, where Aaron Rodgers is still trying to find his mojo.
His mojo. Trying to find his inner.
He's trying to find
inner Rodgers.
Which he's got it. I mean, dude's a legend, but you shouldn't have left. You should have stayed right where you were. You followed the money, and that's what happens. It only worked for Tom Brady. Anybody else, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be all right. He's just got to get in rhythm. He was supposed to play last year, so
yeah,
he hasn't.
It's been
had a chance yet.
Yeah, you're still all crackly.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually redo my interface. So
okay, well, we'll hold on, or I can just kind of move forward. It's fine.
Enjoy. I'll be back.
Right. See you later. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you. So we had Yeah, so tonight, as I said, we are going to be doing a little bit of, as for those who were just joining us, we do a pre-show until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is another couple minutes away from now. And we're doing a little bit of a tribute for Cat because the announcement of the passing of Cat Glover happened as we were doing the last show last Tuesday night when we were interviewing Amuka. And it just went haywire because obviously the announcement of Cat passing was just uh, devastating. It was like, whoa, what now? And then on top of that, there still hasn't been a cause of death uh, decided. So I don't know what the people still don't know what it is. There are assumptions. We'll talk about that. There are assumptions, but still nobody knows exactly what happened. Yes, and we will be talking about, Elena says, ready for the new Uptown Radio Plus launch. Guess what, folks? We can talk about that just for a second. Sure, why not? There is, just so we're clear, today, the brand new Uptown Radio Plus has been uploaded to the system. It's got to go through the process, but it's probably going to take a couple of days for Apple or Google Play to approve it, and it will be available for download. And for those that are confused, you still have your 2 free radio stations. You still have Uptown Radio, and you still have Funked Up. Funked Up is a 24/7 radio station, and Uptown Radio is a 24/7 Prince radio station. But Uptown Radio Plus is very, very different in a lot of ways because it's a Prince radio station, but it's got way, way deeper cuts. Has all the other music, but it also has way, way deeper cuts. Plus, on top of that, Uptown Radio Plus, you can also do, you'll also get Prince-giving and Prince-miss, which many are fully aware of. It's got, it's going to have Prince-giving and Prince-miss on it. Plus, on top of that, you can also request music. You can actually request songs. It's got, you'll be able to listen to this show live on the radio station instead of having to sit here and watch it. If you don't want to watch it, if you're on the go and you want to be able to pull it up, you can pull it up. All that stuff is available, but it's only available to Patreon supporters only. So once you, so you have to be a member of Patreon at patreon.com/Funkatopia. You have to be a member. Once you're a member, you will get a password that will give you access to Uptown Radio Plus for the month, and every month the password changes, but you get access to all that, but you have to be a Patreon supporter. I'm not going to go through the explanation of why we had to do it that way, but let's just face it, because some of the big things that were happening, like Prince-giving and Prince-miss, were drawing a lot of people and driving the ASCAP licensing fees through the roof. But unfortunately, the problem with that is that nobody was actually supporting. Nobody was donating and helping the process and these spikes. So we moved some of the big programming over to the Patreon supporters only. But let me tell you, it's awesome. And you will want it. And it's already been uploaded. Thank you, Michael. Michael has been amazing. He is our app developer, and he has been killing it. And this new app is just really fantastic. I have been testing it and just kind of running with it, and it's been awesome. What's really, really cool with the request thing is that if you request a song, it will tell you the time window that you're going to it's going to play. So when you request a song, it will say your request will play between 7:45 and 7:52, and you're like, yes. So that's pretty awesome. So make sure that you got to go to Patreon. You don't need to be any specific level of Patreon. If you're a member of Patreon, you get it. So, but there are different advantages to being higher levels of Patreon. But with Patreon supporting, as far as Uptown Radio Plus is concerned, you'll have that. And it should be available within a few days. There are already some testers. There are already some testers that are testing it. Some Patreon supporters, actually, we got a handful of Patreon supporters that are actually testing the app and playing around with it. So anyways, that's that. I'm going to talk a little bit about, before I go into the Cat stuff, I do want to cover some of the news stuff as well, because I think this is pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention or not. But today is a really big day in the Prince world, because it's the 33rd anniversary of the release of Prince and the New Power Generations album, Diamonds and Pearls. What's cool about this is a couple of different things. First off, is that it's the 33rd anniversary of this album, and it's the first album that'd be credited to Prince and the New Power Generation. So he actually contributed his full band that was in there, with Levi and Sonny and all them. They're now part of the project, so that's actually cool. So put this on your spin for sure. Make sure you put this on. Also, make sure that you are fully aware that it's the 40th anniversary of Apollonia 6's album. 40 years. 40 years of Apollonia 6, which is just ridiculous to me. So you've got two albums that are celebrating anniversaries today. Yes, we are going to talk about the Airbnb. The Purple Rain Airbnb does launch tomorrow, correct? Elena wanted me not to forget to announce that. Purple Rain Airbnb in Minneapolis launches tomorrow. And if you guys have not seen the picture of this place, it's pretty friggin' ridiculous. I think I actually have this is actually some pictures of the actual inside of this, which I can't wrap my head around because I can't fathom how some of this stuff does not walk off. I'm looking at a bunch of little intricately things here, like there's puppets and candles and little artifacts. It seems like it could just simply walk away. There's some really cool things like this, not really too, this room right here, not really too big of a deal. I mean, there's not really a whole bunch that can walk away, but some of these things are just staggering. So anyways, these photos are just pretty friggin' awesome. Anyway, so that launches tomorrow. So I guess going to be accepting bookings. I don't know if they're going to be, you're right. Joni says probably behind glass. You're right. While it is showing stuff on there, there's might be glass in front of it or whatever. You're probably right. Probably. Yes. And Elena, thank you for reminding me the 10th anniversary of Artificial Age, and also Plectrum Electrum. That was both covered on Facebook. So listen, let's go ahead and get into this because we know you guys want to see this little portion here. I actually created a little bit of an 8-minute video in honor of Kat. But before I play that, which we'll play a little bit of break, before I play that, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Kat because we're into the show at this point. We've already passed the pre-show. As you know, last Tuesday, it was announced that Kat Glover passed away. And it was kind of a little bit of a shock because we literally were in the middle of a show. And when it was announced, then we were like, well, I don't have anything planned and we can't really, I didn't know what to say. I kind of felt like I was, stammering a little bit. And so I gathered a lot of information about Kat, her life pre-Prince and whatnot. And obviously, I got a lot of little video clips from a variety of different places, along with some music that you probably haven't heard from Kat, and put together an 8-minute video. But before I play that video, I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about Kat and one person that I really felt like I needed to invite on the show. It was a good friend of mine, and I want to make sure that I bring him on because he was one of the few people who actually really got Kat to talking. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to my friend and yours, Mr. Michael Dean.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
What's up, Big Daddy?
What's up, man? I feel weird being on
I know
on the side of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I am actually doing an interview. Somebody asked to interview me. Scott Goldfine, who does the Scott Goldfine, who does the Funk podcast, and he wants to interview me. And I was thinking to myself, I don't know that I can do this. I mean, I'm going to do it, but I'm just like, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be.
It is different, yeah, absolutely. But weird. Man, hello to your community. A lot of the same friends and family here as well. So salute to everybody in the chat. Man, salute to you. It's great to be on your show, Chris.
Well, I know that Jeff is still working on audio things. Jeff is, I don't know if he's still working through it or he's just kind of just sitting down there. He can bring himself on. So I guess when he's ready, he'll bring himself on. But the reason why I wanted to kind of bring you on, obviously, we've known each other for years, but you actually got Kat on your show. I saw there was one interview that you did that was like 2.5 hours. And it was really in heavy rotation this past week because a lot of people were looking for more information and they wanted to see video clips, and your video kept popping up. I imagine your numbers for that video were just like boom. And then you did another one that was like a couple hours, also almost a couple hours, the T one, where okay. let me just say, Kat is a little bit of a firecracker. Yeah, it's a little, she is one of these people that, you know, I guess I find it interesting with Kat, that everybody held her in such reverence posthumously after they found out she died. But when she was with us a lot, she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And she had a lot of people that, I mean, she had stories for days. I mean, anybody can listen to your interview with her. She had stories for days, dude. And so to start, how did you connect with her as far as getting her on your show? And when you realized that she was going to be as much of a firecracker as she was, how did the interview go at that point? You know, or did you already know that's what you were in for when you started interviewing her?
To be honest, I don't remember how we connected. And let me say that to say is, I'm sure normally it is a listener or somebody that is like, yo, you should get hooked up with such and such. I know this person and let me put you in touch. So if there is that person, I apologize if I do not remember exactly how that happened at this moment. But I'll say this about Kat. To me, Kat, she was the auntie that I always knew. I have family members that remind me of Kat, so to me, that was just like, I was probably more shocked because in my mind, just as a fan watching, Sign of the Times all the time and looking at the pictures and Love Sexy, you sort of have a thought in your mind of how these people must be, like the persona of them. Right. And I was probably more shocked that I was like, wow, Kat is probably the realest one in here. Like, it was so easy to talk to because I knew, what I'm saying? I didn't have to change up, or I didn't have to study Kat or anything. Like, I knew who she was immediately when we started talking. So it was just like talking like I'm at home, like, oh, cool. Well, then what's this? Whoop de whoop. And so it was just sort of like, she just made it so easy because she was, I hate to say she's keeping it 100. She was just being her authentic self, and she didn't have to fake that. And so when a person's not faking who they are, yeah, it's golden. And I was right at home with listening to her. And again, I was like, as I am with a lot of these people, I'm in awe. So I'm just like, I couldn't believe that Kat, we need you to rap, is literally like right on the other side of the microphone, and we're having a conversation. That blows my mind, and it doesn't. I am cognizant and aware of like who I'm talking to, and like in the moment I don't get like kind of how big it is, but looking back on it, I'm like, yo, that was Kat, like, what I'm saying? So yeah, it wasn't hard or anything. She was just very personable to me.
There's a lot of
go ahead.
No, so there's a lot of guests that I'm the same way. It's just kind of like you're kind of in the middle of the interview. Like when we interviewed Jesse Johnson, I'm thinking to myself, you're kind of in the moment and you're having a conversation. He's telling your story, and then it kind of hits you. You're just like, I'm talking to Jesse Johnson right now.
Right. Yeah.
And she reminds me of Robin Powers, and that same type of I'm truth telling.
Yeah. We almost did it. We had planned it, and I can't remember why we at the last minute didn't do it. But we was going to do a Robin and a Kat together. Like,
oh no,
but that might have been a little.
You wouldn't have to talk at all.
I was just like, let him go. What I wanted to say about Kat, and I do have to apologize to leave soon.
That's okay.
Man, she was great. That's an understatement. But aside from the interviews, actually we kind of clicked up together and started kind of texting back and forth a lot over the years. And, she showed a lot of love to my daughter, my younger daughter. She was just a cool person. And luckily enough, she shared a lot, what I'm saying, in terms of answering some of the questions I had that we weren't going to talk about on the show, but just like, yo, this is what this is, and this is what, okay, wow, and she didn't have to do that. Kat was one of the people that, I'd be at work or something and the phone be it's like, man, that's Kat on the phone. I'm at work though, but that's Kat. Let me see what's going on, So right. It was just like one of those surreal type of things, but she was the realest type of person you could talk to. She'd talk about her family and kids at times. Of course, the stuff that was going on with the Prince world and how she kind of saw herself. And, I was a little amazed the way that it seemed that she saw herself within this whole thing was a little different than, I think what our fans may have thought. Like I would just assume like, man, that's Kat. The door should be open of whatever it is. But maybe sometimes it's not. And I learned that, we can't take these people for granted and we can't assume that, they're balling out of control or this sort of success is happening. Those albums and stuff were a long time ago.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes they may have a little pressure on them to sort of present themselves in a certain way. When I learned from Kat and other people, like, you know what, they're just regular people trying to get by just like us. Some of them got to go to work too. I'm not mad at that. I'm like, wow, okay, I feel you. So just that they were great people. She was great. She didn't bite her tongue. And I love that about her. She wasn't disrespectful though, but she stood on her grounds of what she was about. And it was a blessing to, sort of get to know her in that capacity. And, she will be missed, man. I mean, that was Kat. She's around for me. Like my favorite periods is Sign of the Times, Love Sexy. So the fact that, even just like after, again, listening to all the music, seeing all the stuff that you can we got an opportunity to hear from her. Love it, I love it.
And that's the reason why I wanted to bring you on. I know that you're on a tight schedule and you can only be here for a few minutes, but I wanted to make sure
for these kids, man.
I know, man. I want to make sure that I gave you your flowers because, I tell a lot of people this, and I've told you this in person too. And I'll say it publicly. I honestly don't know that Funkatopia would still be around if it wasn't for you.
Wow.
And
many times too.
And there are people in the chat room who will tell you that I've said that on multiple occasions because you and I have talked. You gave me a lot of direction and a lot of insight into how some of this works. And when I was trying to figure out exactly how I kind of wanted to do my podcast, when Prince decided he was going to latch on to Funkatopia and use me as his marketing tool or one of his marketing tools, I was like, I don't know. I know funk and I know music. I've been doing that since 97 with slab. I started out with a website called slabmusic.com, which was Southern local area bands, which was just to support local area bands. And then I moved into funk, where Funkatopia came from. But then when Prince started wanting to kind of push things my way, I was a huge fan of Prince, but I did not know the Prince world as far as the podcasting community and who was out there. So I was like watching everybody that was doing it and just trying to figure out, who do I really kind of want to model myself after that is doing it the right way. And there was only a couple people that I really felt like I could settle on. And it was you and your level of questioning and the way that you interview and the way that you ask questions and the way that you dig deep. And Eloy, Prince's friend, and just and his presentation capability and just the lighting and everything is just like, dude, it's like, if you're going to do it, that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for you and some of the direction that you gave me, with some of the stuff with Patreon and everything, I really honestly do not, I don't know that Funkatopia would be here. So I have to give you your flowers. And and it's well deserved, man. And I think everybody here would agree with me that you're the man.
Oh man, peace, man. I appreciate that. And as I told you, you're doing your thing, man. You're your own thing, doing a great job. Honored to be here. Salute to Jeff as well. So we all just motivating each other, man. I love it.
Man, well, I know you got to go do your thing, but I wanted to bring you on because I know you were one of the last people to actually have Kat on and actually get, and she loved you, man. She said many times in that T show, the second show that you did, said how much she respected you, and that's reason why she gravitated towards your show. And so it's not just me that notices, Michael. You the man.
I appreciate it. I know you can hear my daughter; she notices it too. So let me go in here and get her something to eat. But thank you so much, man. Y'all working like a job. We'll see y'all next time.
See you later, Mike.
See you, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Michael Dean. So yeah, I wanted to get Michael in here because not only just to give him his flowers, as far as Funkatopia is concerned, but also because again, if you look up any recent interviews with Kat, he's got two of them out there. One that he did that was like a 2.5 hour one, and one that was like an hour. I don't remember how long it is, hour and a half, hour 45 or whatever it is. That is called Tea, and it's called Tea with Kat. And one of the things that I started to kind of mention when he first came on, but I could tell by the look on his face, he didn't want me to go there. But now that he's not here, I'll go there. She was a very, very polarizing figure. I know that everybody, now that she's passed, everybody's kind of holding her in reverence.
That's true.
They kind of hold it, and rightfully so, because she was a very, very integral part of that transition for Prince. Going post-revolution and all this stuff, just kind of the movement that was happening. And she brought a lot to the table. But when she did interviews, again, she definitely was very, very
she was a firecracker. She had
a lot to say, and it seemed like Sheila E. came up a lot.
Well, like we were talking earlier, we were saying that it was kind of like you loved her or you didn't like her at all. There was a big separation, it seemed like, but at the same time, people seemed to respect her too. And I think it was more of her openness. It was just that, like, what's she gonna say now, and is it gonna stir something up? Some people pull that out of others, because she didn't hold any punches.
And I see Elena saying here, didn't she say she once had P's baby? No, she actually cleared that up on the second interview with Michael on Tea with Kat. It was basically people were saying that some of her children were Prince's kids. Like one of her daughters actually has a beauty mark on the same side of the face, same skin tone, same everything. And they said, that's Prince's baby. And she was just like, I know who all my baby daddies is, and Prince is not them. Matter of fact, she said multiple times on that second interview that she never slept with Prince.
Right.
But on the same note, I also seen earlier interviews where she said she did.
They had relations, yeah.
And then there was other things. Not that. Let me go ahead and clear this up, because we're going back into documentary territory now, where it's like, oh, rumor and conjecture. All I'm saying is things that she said. And then in the T interview, she was like, when I said things, it was for a show, because we were supposed to be together. Like in Sign of the Times, I was supposed to be together with Prince's character, but I was with Gregory Brooks' character in it, and we were kind of going back and forth, and there was this, that, and the other. And we were playing a character, so I was saying things that aligned with the character in order for the sake of the show, and it was just all, it's just, So there's, you guys need to watch the interviews. If you have to choose between the two interviews, it just depends on what you want to hear. The first interview that Michael Dean did with Kat, it was 2.5 hours, and she talks a little bit about her history with Prince, and then some of the other things that were going on, like the night of the cancellation of the Black Album, where the Black Album was canceled and then it went to Love Sexy. And there was a lot of things that she said in there that a lot of Prince fans did not like. accusations about things that were going on that night. And I won't go into any details about that. If you want to listen to that, you can. She will tell you flat out what she says happened that night, regarding Ingrid Chavez and Susan Rogers and everybody that was in and out that night during the epiphany that Prince had that the Black Album needed to be canceled. It was from the devil, Spooky Electric, and that's all that happened. On the second interview that she did, it was called Tea with Cat, where he specifically, it was like, I don't know how, I can't remember how long that one was. It was like an hour and a half, hour 40, something like that. And she was clearing up a bunch of rumors, like that she had Prince's baby and all these different things, and a lot of controversy that apparently was constantly happening between her and Sheila E. And she, if you're a fan of Sheila E., I probably wouldn't suggest doing that one. Maybe go with the first one. Maybe look at the first interview, not the second one.
You might feel some type of way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Chiari is like, watch both. Yeah, go ahead, watch both. But the reality of it is that, again, she was a very, very polarizing character, and a lot of people loved her because she was. A lot of people, guys wanted to be with her, and girls wanted to be her. So that was just the reality of Kat's life during that period of time, because she was all over the place. Now, a couple of things I will say. Again, it's 1 week today, because we found out literally almost 1 week to the minute. Maybe not to the minute. Maybe so it was kind of like towards the hour, about 9:30 or so last week on Tuesday night, that this information started coming out, or that we got wind of it. We started seeing the chat room just kind of go, but we found, so there's been a couple of different things, and I want to kind of, share what we do know about Kat to kind of give her some love and kind of do a little bit of a tribute. As I mentioned, I have also acquired a bunch of different videos and clips and stuff from all over the internet, and kind of have put them together, along with some clips from Kat singing. There's I've got a song or two that you probably have never heard of Kat, that were unreleased, that kind of got leaked. And so I kind of put videos together along with some tracks, and we're just going to share them with you in a little bit. It's an 8-minute video, so we're going to take a little bit of an 8-minute break once we're done talking here. But again, I had to interrupt that with Michael Dean, because again, I wanted to give flowers to Michael. And also because, and to kind of get his perspective on Kat. But she was 62 years old, not 60. I know there's like a lot of different newspapers and publications like New York Times and big newspapers that say she was 60. She was not. She's 62. That was verified. She was born in 1962, not 1964, but she was born in 1962 in Chicago. In that 1962 date, making her 62, was verified by both her manager and her family. So if you see 60, it's not 60, it's 62. Matter of fact, I had to fix the video because I found the right information. I was like, I guess I got to fix that. But she started out because she performed as a kid with her sister in a group called the Solettes. And of course, a lot of people saw her in the ether back in the day. The American Idol of the day was for those who are too young, back in the 80s, we had a show on television called Star Search. It was very, very much like American Idol, where various people can come in and sing and perform and dance and do whatever. And she was actually on Star Search with her dance partner named Patrick Allen, and they called themselves Pat and Kat. And they won like one after the other all the way until the finals, and then they lost like right before the finals. And what she said is that her whole purpose on going on Star Search was hoping that Prince would see her. And I just thought that was really intriguing, because even back then she was a huge fan. She said, "You've been a fan since day one, huge fan of the song Soft and Wet." And then she just like went all in on all of his albums. And she was convinced that she was going to work with Prince. And, we've talked about this before, claiming that, claiming something about your future.
Putting it out into the universe. Absolutely.
Putting it out to the universe and just saying, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be me. I'll be working with Prince. And
it works. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Claim
So
it.
she claimed it. She claimed it. And what was interesting about it is that surprisingly enough, somebody else came to grab her off of Star Search by the name of David Bowie. So David Bowie came to her and wanted her to be in a video or work with him in some capacity. And she hadn't decided on what she was going to do, but she ended up going to a club in Los Angeles and she happened to bump into Prince. And she met Prince there. And then at that point, she had aligned with her claim to destiny, so she went ahead and went with Prince and left David Bowie in the lurch. I can't tell you whether or not one decision was greater than the other, but I can tell you that she had a pretty good run with Prince. So it was.
I think the greatest decision was in Star Search was where that's where she was it what they call it, the cat scat, right?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Her letting that out in Star Search. I'm sorry. That's it. You don't need anything else.
Yeah, what do you need? I mean, that's just
what else do you need?
I
Prince used it too.
Yeah, and I saw an interview with Donnie Simpson, the Video Soul. What was that show called? Video Soul, I think is what it was called.
Video Soul.
Yeah, and I actually saw a really early interview with Donnie and Jesse Johnson, and it's so funny because every interview I see with Jesse Johnson, he's always holding his guitar. I think he can't be
he
in
held his guitar in our interview.
Yeah, I know. He had when we interviewed him, he was. I mean,
we could hear him.
Guitar. Yeah, he was playing it the whole time. But anyways, Donnie asked her if there was anything romantic going on between her and Prince, and she refused to answer because, again, what she was saying in Michael Dean's interview was like, I said what I needed to say in order to sell the story that Prince was trying to, because there seemed like there was another story that Prince had told that somebody, not Prince had told, that somebody else had told. I think it was in Michael Dean's interview where she said she got in trouble because she went to some club and was messing around with some guy or doing whatever. And Prince was telling her, you can't do that because you're supposed to be my girlfriend. Right. Meaning that everybody is supposed to be speculating that you and I are together in order to continue to sell this story about Sign of the Times and everything else.
Right.
And so there was that. So she just didn't she refused to answer. So I didn't think, maybe she was just in a position she didn't want to lie or whatever. But, it seems like I've heard conflicting stories where people are saying, yes, they were together, that, but it may have just been because multiple times during the Michael Dean interview, she said there's a difference between having a relationship and effing. She goes, effing is something that's meaningless. It's just, I like you, you like me. Let's do this, get out of the way.
Does like have anything to do with it? Really?
No. All right.
You're gonna use one letter.
Right. So anyways. And of course, fast forward, she's obviously gaining notoriety performing with Prince on the Love Sexy album. She also, many of you remember her from a lot of, rapping on Alphabet Street, obviously. Also once the Black album leaked out and finally came out, you also heard her rapping on Cindy C. Mm-hmm. And of course, she also toured with Prince on the Love Sexy and the Sign of the Times tour. Now, what's interesting is that obviously Prince had some type of, loving, no, I'm sorry, I was looking at what LAW said.
Yeah.
I wasn't. It wasn't Sharon Stone. That was Carmen Electra that said that. It wasn't Sharon Stone. That was Carmen Electra. But yeah, same thing. I wasn't dating him. I was effing him. Yes, that was Carmen Electra.
Hey, after the show, can you tell me what this F thing is? What you guys all mean?
Finagling.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yes. So we'll just do finagling for right now. So anyways, she did actually put together an EP/album that had multiple tracks on it that it never got released on Paisley Park, which I thought was very, very interesting. There was the songs were Cat Attack, like all of them had something to do with cats. Well, not all of them, but Cat Attack, Cat and Mouse. There was a song called A Man Called Jesus, which obviously doesn't have anything to do with a cat. I don't think there are any cats in the. Are there any cats in the Bible? I don't even know.
Cool
I don't
cats.
I don't remember any cats in the Bible, man. I don't remember really much of any animals other than lambs and sheep that were. Anyways, 9 Lives, and then another song called December 1st, 1987. Now, here's some interesting things about this. There's a song, the song A Man Called Jesus that was on that EP was actually reworked and actually given to Mavis Staples, and it was actually on her album. And then the song 9 Lives was reworked and given to The Time that was supposed to be on Corporate World, the album Corporate World. And that album got scrapped too, because most of Corporate World either ended up on Pandemonium or ended up on the Graffiti Bridge soundtrack. So it was kind of like, and then there was like some scraps that kind of fell to the wayside, like the title track Corporate World, 9 Lives, and all this stuff. But what's interesting is that there was another track that was on that Cat EP called December 1st, 1987. And it had no involvement with Prince. I mean, he may have done some music for it, but according to Prince Vault, which has been notoriously wrong recently, he didn't have anything to do with it. But the lyrics, because Kat said, I can't sing, I can only rap. And she has a whole entire rap written on this song, again, called December 1st, 1987. That is a song completely and totally about that night that the Black Album was canceled. So, and I never knew that was the date, the exact date that was canceled, but apparently on the night of December 1st, 1987, that was the night that the Black Album was canceled because Prince was, whatever you want to believe, he had an epiphany, whether it was induced or whatever your story you want to align with. It happened on that night, December 1st, 1987. And I would love to hear that track. But again, it's one of those tracks that's sitting in the vault. I don't know. It's,
you can't have it.
Yeah. But, if you want to hear the story anyways, without it being in a rap, listen to the first interview that Michael Dean did. That's a 2.5-hour interview. And she actually talks about that. She kind of delves into a little bit. But it depends on where you align, whether or not you're going to be happy with that story or not. But anyways, that album was not released. And there was a couple other tracks that were supposed to be on that album too, that also got scrapped. One called Good Judy Girlfriend, and another song called Cornbread Rappers. So there was like a bunch of, none of those songs have been out. You've never heard any of them. You may have heard 9 Lives on Uptown Radio Plus. You may have heard A Man Called Jesus if you listen to the Mavis Staples album. But it's not obviously Cat. It's been reworked and Mavis is doing it. And on 9 Lives, they actually use the chorus of the song, and then Morris is like is kind of rapping or kind of talking. It's kind of like a talk song. It's not singing. If you've ever heard that song. Anyways, so once Sign of the Times happened, that's all said and done. She was not fired. She was very, very animate in interviews that I've heard with her that said she was not fired. She left. She said, that she just left. And then she went to London in order to kind of pursue her career and whatever that was that she wanted to do, I guess, because at that point in time, you're talking about 88, 89, somewhere in there, somewhere between that window where rap is really starting to get some serious traction. And a lot of labels are like, obviously it had already been with Run DMC and everything. It had its teeth in the 80s, but now there was like all these offshoots that were happening. Anyway, so she goes to London and she hooks up with this guy named Timothy Simeon, who's with this group called Bomb the Bass. And he actually produced an album for her on Steve Fargnoli. Remember that name? Purple Rain, Steve Fargnoli's album label that he had in London called Red Dot Records, and released a single called Catwoman. And in the video that I'll be playing you in just a minute, I actually have an excerpt from that song, so you could be able to hear that. And it came out about the same time as Batman soundtrack that Prince was working on, but they didn't have anything to do with each other. It was just kind of came out around the same time. But she actually had a full album done with that label. The album was called I Am Energy, and that was also unreleased. So she's got 2 full albums, one that's sitting in the vault in Minneapolis, assuming it's in the vault, or if it's in Iron Mountain in California. I don't know where it's at. And she has another album called I Am Energy, which I assume is in London. I don't know. That's also unreleased, so that's gone too. But again, you know, as I've already said multiple times, you know, now that she's passed, I know a lot of people are really holding her in reverence, but she was very, very outspoken, and she did just say she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in some of the things that she was saying and some of the things that she was claiming. And, you know, she also had some very, very terse things to say about various people during interviews. Even the one with Michael Dean, she seemed to really target Sheila E. a lot on those interviews, like a lot, especially on the T1. She really, really hit Sheila in a couple of places. And I'm not sure what the animosity was. I mean, she told a couple of stories of some scraps that they got into and whatever, but it's just, you know, some of the things that she was saying, she said, you know, like I had already hinted at a couple of times, that the night that the Black Album was canceled, that Prince was on drugs that night. She also said, these are direct quotes from the interview. She said, "We can't have a woman president because she will blow up the world when she's on her period." I mean, some of the things that she said was just like,
I think that's hilarious.
I'm sorry, time out. What did you just say?
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so, and you know, Sheila E., another quote was, "Badass musician, but as a person, I really don't care for her." You know,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
And you know, a lot of people were talking about. Anyways, I've tried to share. A lot of people have created these tribute videos to Kat, and I've seen a lot of different ones that are out there. Just some that are short, some that, you know, cover her entire career, some that do this, that, and the other. And I did, for those who follow Facebook, like sometimes I like post something on Facebook, and like within like a minute, you guys are like, and there's like 3 or 4 people that like immediately like it, like within a minute of me posting it. If you are one of those people, you may have seen within a minute that Angelo Moore, who I know, who many of you know too, he is the lead singer of Fishbone. Love Angelo Moore. He's a great dude. Known him off and on for years. Anyways, he's the lead singer of Fishbone, and he also plays sax, and he's an insane person. He had he was driving a car, and he had like I don't know how long the video was. I want to say it was just like 6-7 minutes or something like that. But he was telling a story about how devastated he was that Kat had passed, because she was such a good person, and that she was so generous that he actually had to have knee surgery. And if you've ever seen Angelo perform, like especially during the days of the albums like The Reality of My Surroundings, that period, that late 80s period, not just Freddie's dead, not that stuff, but like even further than that, he was insane. I saw them at it was the Roxy in Atlanta, and he went up to the balcony, the second floor balcony, and backflipped off of the balcony into the crowd, dependent that the crowd was going to catch him. And I remember when I interviewed him years ago, I said, you know, that's really like a dangerous stunt. Why would you do that type of thing? And he said, well, I have faith that the crowd was going to catch me, because if they don't, then the show's over. I was like, true that. There you go. That's truth. Anyways, so he was telling this story about, I guess he had to have knee surgery, and that Cat paid for it, like didn't pay for the entire thing, but like donated a lot of money to help him pay for the surgery. And so I like watched like the first few minutes of this, and I said, I got to share this. This is cool because, Angelo's a friend. I'll put this out there, and a lot of people like Angelo and Fishbone. And, I just got done talking about Fishbone because it was the anniversary of their EP or whatever. And that I already talked about. So they were already in rotation. So I was like, well, put it out there. And so I put it out there. And as soon as I put it out there, I continued to watch the video. And he proceeds to say, yeah, they didn't announce her death, but she drank vodka like water, and she smoked like a chimney. So it was probably one of those two things that claimed her. And I said, oh, take it down, down. You're on mute. I literally went to Facebook and was like, delete, because I knew that the second that the Cat fans saw that, or at least watched it to that point, that it was going to be all over, and that they would attack me because I posted it like I approved it or whatever. And technically that's what it is. I approved it. And you think, we've talked about this as the pre-show, you would think that I've learned my lesson on sharing something before I've fully watched like the entirety of something. And I'm going to share this story. Might as well, because you're still on mute. We still can't hear you. So
you got to share the story. That's it.
Yeah. So we'll just share this one rabbit hole story about me not learning my lesson about sharing something before I have fully watched it. I work for this company. I'm not going to name the company. It's here in Atlanta. But they were like a meeting type of company, and kind of in the events planning type of company. And it was a company about 30. And we would always have to go and find stories to share on blog posts of, to create blog posts. Like what ideas can we come up with for blog posts and whatever. And I happened to stumble upon this list of 40 different things that you could do if you're sedentary at your desk and you're sitting there and you're kind of feeling, lethargic. Here are some exercises that you can do at your job that will kind of help, with, cardio and just working out and doing whatever. And I was just like, I started reading and I read like about, a dozen of them. And I was just like, these are really, really great hints. I mean, and everybody sits at their desk here. So I shared it without reading the rest of it. And about an hour later, we go into a meeting and everybody's just like staring at me like I was like wearing like some big red wig or something. And everybody's laughing and kind of holding their mouth, was like, oh my gosh, this is and I was like, what's going on? And this one guy, thank God for him, because I think they probably would have let this joke run for the whole meeting. They said, yeah, that list was really great, especially number 27. And I was like, oh, okay. And of course, you can feel like your heart racing a little bit, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, now I have to look.
What does 27 say? And I scroll down, and 27 says, if there's no one around you, take a plastic sandwich bag and masturbate under your desk. Like, what? I just shared this list with everybody. I'm all the C-level guys, my bosses, all my coworkers. And I'm like, okay, my bad, everybody, my bad.
guys, where's Chris? I think he just went to lunch.
I should have read 27.
It's bad.
My bad.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was funny because it was not. Elena says it wasn't my last day. I was like, no, it was not my last day. But that became a running joke, and every time I walked into the office, they'd be like, 27.
Did they leave sandwich bags on your desk?
No. But I always keep sandwich bags. No,
because you never know.
Yeah. So going back outside of the rabbit hole, now we're going to be Alice in Wonderland in reverse. Always read or look at something in its entirety before you post it, especially if you're reposting something. Anyways, needless to say, there still has not been an announcement to her passing, but I did not know a lot about her. I do know that she did that during the Michael Dean interview. She was smoking because you could hear her smoking, and she was coughing a lot in the thing. So there is some truth to her, whether it was related or whatever. I would think that if it was natural causes, they probably would have said something by now. And, maybe, and Angela was just speculating. But as of right now, as of today, as of this broadcast, there's been no cause of death.
Right.
So
we can know.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's okay too. And that's okay. I mean, we'll just not worry about that, because the fact is we'll miss her. People will miss her. Those who loved her and those who didn't probably miss her now. Because it's funny how when somebody passes and then others realize, wow, they were pretty cool actually. So or you wish you had that moment to fix the issues that you had. So you gotta handle that now, because you never know. Tomorrow is never promised, right?
And Maisha, I see you. Yes, I want to thank Maisha again for sending me the printed copy of the New York Times Magazine article on the Prince We Never Knew, the whole documentary, the one that sparked the whole documentary discussion. Because if you haven't had an opportunity to pick this up, it is very lengthy. Wow. And that whole article that you saw online is actually, it does exist in printed format. And thank you so much.
That's awesome.
To Maisha for sending me not one, but 2 copies of it, because she said I wanted to get you one for you and also for Jeff. So I do have one of these for you, Jeff. And I also do have the Le Petit calendar that Troy Gua sent us.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, I still have those 2 things that we haven't seen each other since. When's the last time we chatted?
It's been a long time, man.
The Rick James show, right?
The Rick James concert, yeah.
So,
I mean, the band and Stokely.
Yeah. So, anyways, so as a result of us being Prince fans, I did want to put together a little bit of a tribute video to Kat that I have created. Just kind of put together some video clips of her. And also some music behind it. It's probably some music that you haven't heard. There's one that's called Catwoman, and there's another one that's I can't remember the name of the song. Before the Rain, I think. I can't remember. It was something Rain. But anyways, there's a couple tracks that I didn't even talk about earlier that are in this. And so now, in order to kind of wrap this up, we were talking about this. You were love for one another, and it makes a good point. All these people that have passed away in the Purple Circle. I mean, it's just Prince, John Blackwell, Wally Safford, Bonnie Boyer, now Kat, and there's more.
It's sad no matter what. Yeah.
Not even to mention that. I mean, but all the other people that have passed away recently, like Frankie Beverly, Tito Jackson, Ken Page also passed away. I don't know if you guys knew this, but this just came out 2 hours ago. If you guys don't know who Ken Page is, if you've ever seen the animated movie or claymation movie Nightmare Before Christmas, which you're going to see a lot because it's coming towards Halloween, so it will be everywhere. Ken Page was the voice of Oogie Boogie on
Right.
Never Before Christmas, and he passed
Mhm.
away too.
Amos,
James
John Amos, Good Times.
James Earl Jones,
Yeah.
just Matumbo died.
Yeah,
It's the best.
we were going through
Matumbo.
a pretty large list, and it was like, man, this is all like now.
It's
And
like, and it's just like, it's Sergio Mendes. I didn't know Sergio Mendes. When did he die? I must
oh
have,
wow.
and it was just like pow, pow. It was just like one after the other. It was just like, it was like a
Yeah.
list. It's like, man, this is insane. This is
And and it's hard. It's difficult for this situations because we don't want to do a show and just keep bringing in all the this person died, and you don't want to show about death every single week,
right.
but you don't want to leave out people either, but you can't include everyone. So it's a really tough situation all around. We don't want them to pass.
Chris Christopherson, John Amos from Good Times.
Pete
Yeah, we
Rose,
are.
yeah,
Pete
exactly.
Rose.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate it for Pete because I kind of felt like his legend kind of got. I mean, he was such an amazing.
for the gambling.
It's just like his whole life got derailed because of the gambling. It's like you're like a world star athlete, and because of some stupid gambling addiction, it just kind of got out of control. And
it happens, doesn't it?
These athletes just kind of, these world-class athletes, they get into these things, and it's just like, like OJ. I mean, it was all fine, and then the murder,
Well,
I'm
like Michael Vick until
I had to bring some light in.
They're human. That's the thing that people are forgetting. We're all flawed.
And Pete died in Vegas, of course. Frank from American Pickers died. What? Come on!
I saw that. I did see that.
That was the guy that got let go off of the show, right? That was the heavyset guy with the mustache. I thought they worked everything out, and he was back on the show. I guess doesn't matter now. He's passed. Man, that's crazy. Oh my God. All right. So to wrap everything up in a bow, I have an 8-minute video for you guys. I think it's a little over 8 minutes. So we're going to take a little bit of an 8-minute break, and you guys can enjoy this because it is Cat. And there's a lot of Prince in here too, but we're going to be honoring Cat right now. And you're going to see a lot of Prince footage and whatnot in here. And we're just going to take a moment to kind of watch this video and enjoy it. And let's just do that right now to kind of tie a bow in this, and then we can move to the soundstage portion of the show. So without further ado, here it is. A little bit of a tribute to Cat Glover. Enjoy.
you wanna have fun?
For me, that's the way it's got to be. Oh, baby, I just can't stand the pain. Whenever I look into your eyes, and it starts to rain, and I have to let you know that, ooh, baby, I love you so. But when I look into your eyes, I feel the pain. And oh, baby, I just can't stand the pain. Whenever I look into your eyes, and it starts to rain, and I have to let you know that, ooh, baby, I love you so. But when I look into your eyes, I feel the pain. And oh,
There you go. That was a tribute video I put together. Little pieces. A lot of people had already put together like a portion of the videos, but I took a lot of videos and separated the audio and video and kind of seamed a lot of it together and incorporated a lot of different things. But yes, I will put I will put that up. Thank you. I will put that up on Patreon and somewhere else. YouTube won't let me do it because that clip from Alphabet Street. So that's going to be the reality of it. But I'll put it up on Patreon so you guys can download it and put it wherever you want to put it.
Yeah, it's well done. It was good.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I could have done
Made me want to dance.
Yeah, could have done a lot more with the audio, but you're trying to get everything lined up and it's like, yeah, this is ridiculous. This is going to take forever. All right, let's do it. Let's move to Soundstage. Had to beat you to it. Yeah, so we're going to take off the thing because
pretty good job with that one too. I might lose my little front job.
All right, so tonight, for those who have not seen Soundstage before, this is our third Soundstage. Actually, we did one and we said we need to do this all the time, and then we didn't for like over a year. It was like a long time, and then we finally
like a year and a half, almost 2.
Yeah, so when then we did one, I guess about a month or so ago, almost a couple months ago, and was like, all right, it's time for the next Soundstage, where we share with you some new funk music that's out there that I think you should pay attention to, that I think should be on your list. And so we are going to share with you some tracks that I think need to be paid attention to. So let's go through it. I said a half a dozen on the promo, but I have 7. And so I gave you a bonus one. So let's start with the first one here. The first one is by the Skunk Mob. Now these guys have been on the best funk list before, because they're very, very, very Parliament Funkadelic leaning.
Absolutely.
Because they all have ties in some form or fashion to P-Funk, either the P-Funk All-Stars, or they've kind of sat in with Parliament or been or in the family or whatever. But it's Trelude, Binky Womack, Christopher Parker, Mark Payne, Anthony Alexander, Triple Ace Boogie, Lisa Love, Arthur Brown, Rock Gooden, Jack and the Bass, Eddie Paper, and so far they've released 2 albums, 2 CDs. One was the P Union, which was on the best funk list, but then they re-released it. They kind of did remixes and stuff, and they called it Flush It or Reflush. They actually have, I guess there's going to be a new album coming out, or they're working on a new album, or I'm not exactly sure what the scenario is. So there is they've got a new album cover called The Firmament, and they have sent me the album, but I don't know if it's been officially released yet. So I don't know. But I figured, well, while we're here, I might as well share with you what a track from that. So we're playing a song called The Meeting, and it's off of this album called The Firmament. And if you want more information on them, you can go to theskunkmob.com, the being THA, not THE. So let's take a listen to The Meeting from the album The Firmament from the Skunk Mob. A lot of does in there. Here we go.
You hear grown folks talking, shut the funk up. Put your cards on the table. Don't hate the stable. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Okay, shit, talk like I'm never will get pizza. Shakey's and Chuck E. Cheese, true guys from East. What? It's a whole house gun and hell pizza. Yeah, you can ask your blue. And you tell me you not all this to do.
So that kind of gives you an idea of what the Skunk Mob sounds. Go ahead.
You know what's really funny about that song, or great about it, is it actually invokes a vision for me. Like I hear it, and I specifically, I mean, obviously it makes you think of Parliament Funk. I mean, it is Parliament. It just sounds like it. But I specifically visualize and see it in my head when I hear this song is that old Casablanca label when you had the album in the Casablanca and you know that's what I see when I hear this. It's like that moment in time of the Casablanca label spinning on the record. That's what I see when I hear this. So
My only feedback on that track, I can see that is. Yeah, I can see the skyline, the
the pyramid and
the pyramid skyline. My only feedback on that, and I don't know if it was by design, but the mix on the vocals was really low, and it's like really difficult to hear what they're saying. And that may be by design because the other tracks aren't necessarily like that.
right.
This is a very, very Parliament Funkadelic way of, doing that right. Yeah, the Funkadelic vibes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, clones. Yeah, for sure. It's got that vibe, and that's kind of what the Skunk Mob does. They really have embraced the Parliament Funkadelic sound. This new album, I can tell you by listening to the other tracks on it, they do have a lot more rap on this album than they have on their previous ones. Like with the Skunk Mob and also Gary Scheider's son, who has his own project. They really hardcore embrace the Parliament Funkadelic sound, and they're just like, this is what's happening. We're doing all things Bernie Worrell, and it's welcome. So anyways, great track. If you want more information on them, go to theskunkmob.com. That's THA, theskunkmob.com. And that was a song called The Meeting. And I don't know if this album is available yet or not, but it's The Firmament. And check that one out. So
don't hate the player, don't hate the game.
Yeah, that's right. This next band, one of the things I'm like obsessed with, I really want to get to London at some point in time, London or France, because I don't know what it is about Europe and specifically in London and specifically in France, but they are obsessed with funk.
Yeah.
Literally, their radio over there is primarily mostly funk. It's just like the underground movement in the funk realm is just like
funky.
Jamiroquai, Brand New Heavies, those types of bands, they are just like at the top. They're at the top of their game over there. Like they sell out stadiums like Lady Gaga sells out. It's like ridiculous. And I really kind of it's kind of annoying because somebody actually went on to, there was a YouTube video that I did, and somebody went on one of the YouTube videos that I had done a while back. It was one of the videos I did called Just Saying Hello. It was when I was in Florida, or not Florida. I was in North Myrtle Beach, and I logged in to say hello. And somebody commented on that video and did like this long 5-paragraph in one paragraph commentary on funk music and how it's gone, how it's just in the United States, it's gone. It's non-existent, gone. It is layered in. There's only certain artists that embrace the funk sound, and that, guys like Bruno Mars, Outkast. Outkast did a phenomenal job at really kind of infusing funk into the hip hop and the rap that they did. So, and that was really, I don't think people realize how funk is like, it's so attractive to the ears and to your psyche and to your soul, just the ways that the bottom end it just kind of feeds that. So the most successful rap artists that you hear, a lot of the, it's got that super deep funk element to it. Kind of to come back around, we're talking about California hip hop. Stacey said yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. The next artist I want to talk about is out of London, and I have had them on the show, years ago, many times, and it's a band called the New Master Sounds.
Hmm.
The New Master Sounds is, they've been around forever, for a very, very, very long time. And they have a brand new album that just came out called Old School. And it's basically Simon Allen on drums, Pete Shand on bass, Eddie Roberts on guitar, and Joe Tatton on organ and piano. And these guys have worked with everybody. I mean, Maceo Parker, Fred Wesley, Corinne Bailey Ray, Art Neville, Bernard Purdy. I mean, just like the laundry list, they've worked with everybody, and they are funk. It's like this. It's the London funk, very, very brand new heavies, leaning type of thing. But these guys have been around since 1999. So they're talking. They've already got like 24 albums, and that's not even including the independent stuff that they work on with. Because I know Eddie Roberts, he was on the show, and not only does he do a lot of work, there is I don't know why I keep forgetting this word, but there's nepotism. There is a big, this is not a word, nepotilistic. There is nepotism among funk bands. And so when you got guys like the New Master Sounds, Lettuce, even guys from Jamiroquai, bands like, there's so many of them out there. But they will always cross-pollinate with each other and do like each other, and they'll sit on each other's projects, and they'll do this and they'll do that. And Galactic and those guys, and it's just like this, like one band after another, and they all sit in with each other. So not even including the 24 albums that New Master Sounds have to their name already in 25 years, but that's not even including all the independent stuff that they go off and they work on with. It's kind of like Doug Pinnick from King's X. King's X, I love. They're a hard rock funk band. They're not always funk, but I just love their style of hard rock, where it's kind of like Rage Against the Machine, where it's like it's got that funk element that's just got that groove punch to it. Right. And Doug Pinnick is that same way. He's the lead singer of King's X. Well, he's not the only one. Ty Tabor does some stuff too, but Doug Pinnick also has like 3 different projects that he's also got off into the ether as well. And he's like always doing stuff. Same thing here with New Master Sounds. These guys are all over the place.
Right.
And I love this. This new album has got that flair to it, that sound. But the new album called Old School, and this is a track called Down on the Farm, which is the opening track to this album. And let's get a little taste of this. Let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole, but I kind of want you guys to kind of experience, my thought processes when I'm listening to music and kind of understanding the history of some of this stuff. But here it is, Down on the Farm. Let's take a listen.
What you say, what you do.
So that was a little taste of the New Master Sounds called Down on the Farm. Yeah, it does. Lisa said it's got a very early funk sound, and it is. It's very. They've always had the elements of the meters for sure. There's
hearing.
Go ahead.
All I'm hearing, and I'm seeing, man, I'm seeing the pinball machine, and I'm hearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It just feels like that.
Okay. here's where whenever I hear the new Master Sounds, and there's another band that's like this for, as you have seen, Funkatopia, I'm moving more towards more funk. I'm really wanting to bring in funk from all over and not just be so focused in the purple circle.
Mhm.
And I really want you guys, if you guys like that sound, the new Master Sounds are fantastic. There's another band that's very, very similar to this. That's fantastic. If you guys have never checked out Orgone, Orgone, you have to check them out. They are amazing. They've been around for probably a couple decades too. They've been around for forever. I would highly suggest checking out Orgone. They're unbelievable. But whenever I hear the new Master Sounds in this style,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that nobody else in the chat room is going to leave me hanging if you know what I'm talking about. There was an X-rated movie, an animated X-rated movie that came out in the 70s called Fritz the Cat. And I think, I'm pretty sure, hold on a second. Go ahead and talk.
Wow.
Talk for a second, Jeff. Talk.
You want me to talk?
Jeff,
After
talk
you
for a
said that.
Yeah, talk for a second.
So what I was saying before we get into any porn stuff, that I feel that old Electric Company, those type of shows in that sound, because you're right, it is old school. It feels like old school. It pulls at that part of you. So it's
Okay.
awesome.
Yes. So let me just share this. Let me share this. I'm going to make myself larger for a second.
Oh my gosh.
For those that don't know, back in the 70s, there was an animated movie made by an amazing animator named Ralph Bakshi. And Ralph Bakshi, they rated it X because there was sex in this cartoon. And it was called Fritz the Cat. And this is the album, Fritz the Cat. And it was insane. It was an insane movie. It was all about a cat who was trying to find his purpose in life. And so he smoked a bunch of weed and went on a spiritual journey, sleeping with whoever, whenever, doing whatever, and trying to find his meaning in life. Fritz the Cat. Now, what's interesting about Fritz the Cat was the soundtrack, which features Bo Diddley, Charles Erland, Billie Holiday, Jim Post, Bernard Purdy, Merle Saunders, Alice Stewart, Cal Jader, and the Watson sisters.
Wow.
It was literally basically what you just heard with New Master Sounds, with that sound, that 70s whatever. I don't know if you can even find this online anywhere to watch it. You probably can. But what was that movie with chat room, help me out. What was that movie with Brad Pitt where it was he was real life. It was one of his really, really, really early movies. It was real life, but he was in the animated world.
Oh yeah.
I think it preceded Roger Rabbit.
Right.
Oh
man, what was that?
Oh man, I can't remember the name of that movie, but somebody in the chat room will help me. It was Brad Pitt and he was
Cool
trapped.
World.
Cool World, correct. Thank you, Kyle, and thank you, Jeff. Cool World was also Ralph Bakshi, the same guy who did that. And he also, and here's another story about, I don't know why we're going down a rabbit hole of Ralph Bakshi. But he also did in the 80s, it was early 90s. He did a remake of Mighty Mouse, and he did the Mighty Mouse cartoon that came on, and they took it off the air because Mighty Mouse would get his powers by snorting some white powder. The season went for a long time before they were like, wait a minute, he's snorting cocaine before he goes to fight crime. And they were like, how did get past Ralph Bakshi is a crazy, insane animator, and I don't even know if he's still alive. I think he passed away. If you ever get an opportunity to watch Fritz the Cat, and you don't have any young kids that will potentially watch it or look over your shoulder, you don't want them seeing this. It is a movie called Fritz the Cat, and it's totally off the rails, and but the soundtrack is friggin' amazing. Yeah, it was. Yeah, New Master Sounds. Let's get back on.
We need to fear.
New Master Sounds, old school, is the name of the album, and it's got that 70s funk sound. Same thing like Orgone. It's just got that 70s funk sound that's just undeniable. It's just pretty fantastic. So, anyways,
yeah.
I don't know how we just ended up down a Ralph Bakshi hole.
Well,
all right, so Kyle had mentioned, was it Kyle? I think mentioned. Kyle mentioned that the London sound obviously was like the precursor for what they referred to over there as acid jazz. Yeah. So what I would say is that there's truth to that, and there's a lot of that acid jazz, and I think they call it. It was called acid jazz, and then they switched the name to neo soul, then they switched it to something else, and I don't even know what the technical name for it is anymore. But it's pretty fantastic. And I love that sound, which leads us to our next person on the list, a girl by the name of Jade McRae. She's got an album called In My Veins. Have you ever heard of Jade McRae?
I had heard of her. Yes.
I did not. I had never heard of her, heard her music at all, but I went in
such a good voice. Like,
yeah, I want to make sure that I wasn't giving Kyle credit for something that somebody else said. So, yeah, sorry. Joshua said it, it wasn't Kyle. It was Joshua. My bad, dude. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I had to scroll up. I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. Anyways, let's talk to Jade McRae. Let's talk about Jade McRae. It is a jazz / funk album, and it's really cool. It's got a really nice vibe to it. She's ever since Amy Winehouse left us, there's been these artists that kind of come out that kind of have that same style. Ray has that same style. That's her name, Ray, right? Ray has that same kind of that really that London vibe voice. I think a lot of people try to steer towards Amy and her sound. Jade doesn't sound like Amy, but she has this really cool, distinctive tone to her voice. And what's interesting about her is that she's from Australia, and she studied piano and violin, so she's a musician. And I think one of the things I can tell you, being a vocalist myself, is that vocalists that also play instruments well, especially technical instruments like piano and violin, really excel at doing doing vocal tricks and stuff, and weaving their vocals throughout because they
vocal gymnastics.
The vocal gymnastics, because they have a more technical approach to how they construct a vocal melody over. And because of the fact that I don't proficiently play any instruments, when I hear vocals like this, it really kind of makes me jealous. I was like, man, I wish I could, really do. There's some artists that don't proficiently play instruments that seem to be able to do it really quick, like Erykah Badu. She's not really she tinkers around on keyboards and stuff, but she's not like a proficient like that type. But when she's in the zone, back away. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But this, but anyway, so Jade McRae, she studied piano and violin, as I said, at the Sydney Conservatorium of Music, and she's also shared the stage, screen, and studio with. And I didn't know she's not young, because she's shared with James Brown, John Legend, Ray Charles, Dave Stewart, George Benson. So she's not a young cat. She's been around the block for a little bit. And let me just say, you're gonna like this. I'm hoping that I'm turning you, that at least something that we play tonight is gonna
like it.
Turn you on to new artists. But this song is called it's not called Down on the Farm. I'm trying to remember.
It's better this time around.
Better this time around is what this thing. So that track is correct. Down on the Farm was the new Master Sounds track. This is, yes. So let's just play this and enjoy it.
Ain't no fun in what we were becoming. We got to running down our supply. Yeah, shed some skin and find new beginnings. Find a new way to fight this fight. Yeah. We on the other side. We roll in on a new tide. This kind of motion make way for devotion. Better this time around. Yeah, better this time around. Oh yeah, better this time around. Yeah, better this time around. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was Jade McCrae, and the song is called "Better This Time Around" off of her album called "In the Vein."
In My Veins. And it's funny because In My Veins is actually a really good one too. So the actual album title song is just.
I was having a problem picking just one track off of it.
Absolutely.
This is great. This is great. So definitely check that out, because that gave me Brand New Heavies vibes. Obviously, totally different vocals than India Davenport, but definitely gave me that Brand New Heavies vibe. Those structural changes, those chord changes, and how they just pop. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I like that. Anything syncopated and change ups like that, left field stuff is just like that's.
Yes. JadeMcCraeMusic.com is where you can find more information about her. You can also go to Spotify and listen to that, but it's Jade, Jade. Obviously, McCrae is MACRAE music.com. McCrae. JadeMcCraeMusic.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's well worth it, for sure. All right, let's get into the next one. The next one, I'd never heard of these guys either. It is a band called The Boom Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, there's been a couple different. Now I have the words boom and yeah together, BOOMYEH, not YEAH, but YEH, because there's been a couple listings that I've seen on them where it's together. Boom yeah is together, and there's a couple that they're apart. On the album cover here, they have everything together. But anyways, they got a brand new album called Near Earth Objects. And actually, it comes out at the end of this week. It comes out on Friday. So it's not even out yet. This is a single from them. And we were just talking about the London scene. These guys are stalwarts from the London music scene. The Boomier, they're kind of like the British jazz funk. Again, we talked about this acid jazz thing. But they've played with the bands that we've been mentioning: Jamiroquai, Brand New Heavies, Incognito, Alice Russell, Leroy Hudson. They literally sell out arenas and audiences everywhere they go. Like the EFG London Jazz Festival, the Elgar Room, which is Royal Albert Hall, the Manchester Jazz Festival. Pretty much everywhere they go, they're selling things out. And I'd never even heard of them, and I happened to stumble upon on a we'll just have to just check it out. But here it is. This is the Boom Yeah. And I'm going to go with Boom and Yeah being separate, because even in some of the descriptions, it is what it is. But it's the Boom, BOOM space Yeah, YEH. The Boom Yeah. All right, let's check it out. The song was called Keep Right On. Let's check it out. my god,
Man,
the bass, dude, the bass. If you guys were only paying attention to the horns in that, I'm just gonna play a little bit of this again. Listen to the bass. I mean, that's just stanky, man.
you know what?
Happening, dude?
It's sick, disgusting, gross. In fact,
What?
the mix, the way this is created, even when you listen to it, it screams, "Come see me live."
Oh my god, it's just. I
Like,
mean,
it screams it.
I'm just trying to imagine the runs that this guy is. It reminds me of Jamiroquai's first album, Emergency on Planet Earth. There was a lot of tracks that were on that album that are very, very similar bass-wise, where it's just like, dude, slow down. Holy cow. I love this. Okay, Rachel Cross. Rachel, would you please reach out to me via Gmail, funkatopia@gmail. Rachel Cross says, I'm in the UK. Check out Lady Blackbird, and the comment is coming. Both fantastic. Please send me a list of bands to check out, because I love discovering new funk bands. That's obviously one of the focuses of Funkatopia right now, is to kind of go back to where I started back in 2005, where I want to dig deep into the funk and get right back into it. So Rachel, please reach out to me again, funkatopia@gmail.com, funkatopia@gmail.com, and send me a list of these bands out. Cause I want to check some of these guys out. I mean, unreal. So again, to tie that up, that was the Boom Yeah, two separate words, BOOM space yeah, YEH. Their new album comes out on Friday called Near Earth Objects, and that song was called Keep Right On. And you can find more information on them at theboomyeah.bandcamp.com. Boomyeah.bandcamp.com. There's that on there too. All right, next one is a band called Octave Pussy. Now, I don't know why they chose the name that they did, but I think they were younger when they first came up with it, because from what I read, they kind of it's just is what it is. Their website is at octavepussymusic.com. I guess octavepussy.com was taken. So I guess they had to put music in there. Octavepussy.com is taken. Add music on. See if that's taken. Okay, octavepussymusic.com. Yeah, you got it. We got it, Bob.
You got it. Take that one.
Take
Great
that
job.
Octavepussymusic.com. I don't know why they changed the name or why they had the name, but musically, they had an album that was actually on the best funk of 2020, I believe. I think it was 2020 is when, because they had an album called Straight from Number One Bimini Road that we put on the Funkatopia Best Funk Albums of the Year, because they had worked on a whole album with members of Parliament Funkadelic all friggin' over this thing. And they were founded in the mid 90s, and they were just kind of session musicians bouncing back and forth. But in 2005, they started working with a bunch of the members of Parliament Funkadelic, including George Clinton, Gary Starchild Scheider when he was with us. He's passed away. Michael Kidd Funkadelic Hampton, Greg Mr. T. Thomas, Robert Peanut Johnson, Razor Sharp, way back in like 2001. But then they started a recording session with the JB's Fred Thomas, which was James Brown's primary bass player in 2005. And then, of course, in 2020, they finally hooked up with George Clinton and did like an entire album called Straight from Number One Bimini Road. And that was just all over the place. Now, apparently, there is a brand new album, because that album was insane. And my guess is that this whole thing is going to be very, very similar in that vein. But here it is, a taste of that's probably not the right term to use. A smell? No. That's worse. Uh,
Just okay. Go ahead.
let's just give it a listen, shall we?
Give it a listen, shall we?
Let's give it a listen. It is a single from Octave Pussy called "Show Me Your Funk Face," and they're doing it with Parliament Funkadelic. And here's the single, "Show Me Your Funk Face," and let's just listen to this.
Funk face, give me a funk face. Funk face, give me a funk face. Funk face, give me a funk face. Yes, give me a funk face. Funk face, give me a funk face. Funk face, give me a funk face. The man that changes the face in many ways. There's one thing I need to see. Just funk your face unnaturally. Why the long face? Put on your funk face. Show me to pump your energy up high. Relax your face, make up your mind. Why the long face? Put on your funk face. Show me your funk face.
Yeah, so that's a taste of Octave Pussy. Yes, Joshua says it's a pun off of a James Bond movie. I know, but
Right.
to name your band that is like seems like that's excessive.
It's wild. Yeah.
It's
I will
ridiculous.
say I like the song.
Oh no, and they're a great band, and that album, straight from number one Bimini Road, is incredible front to back.
Yeah.
There's not a weak track on that album, and if you look at the graphic, it does say that it's coming. It says for the forthcoming album, "Show Me Your Funk Face," so that's also going to be the name of the album.
But that's the thing. It's good stuff. There's stuff in general, but this particular song, it doesn't really do it for me. Like it doesn't make me want to make a funk face. You know?
That's their lead-off single. So, yeah. So, my apologies to Octave Pussy, who were going to use our little review of the song as a clip, but now Jeff has ruined it and made and said that the song doesn't do it for him. So, my bad. You could have used this as a promo piece for your material, but Jeff kind of check out
Hey,
straight.
I still like them. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, it's too late.
Good.
Too late. It's too late. It's too late. You ruined. You ruined. It's ruined. And that's their lead-off single too. So if you listen to the whole song, it kind of goes to a lot of different places. But I was trying to, I'm interested in hearing it because they're working with members of Parliament Funkadelic. So we're gonna see what's happening. All right, let's go on to the next band before we get any deeper. And my brother's in the house. What's up, Andy? What's up, man? My literal brother, like my blood brother, Andy. Andy's
like, thanks, Jeff.
Andy's actually going to be he's coming to visit me at the end of October, so I'm really excited about that because we get to hang out because we haven't hung out ever.
Cool. Nice, awesome. Can't wait to meet you.
So, all right, let's go into the next band, shall we? A band called Greater Kind. They have an album called Change of Plans, and they're another jazz funk band, and this song is called Paid to Play. They're out of Portland, Oregon, which doesn't seem to churn out a lot of funk bands. It's Oregon, so I don't know. There's like a whole bunch. So you pretty much stand on your own if you're a funk band in Oregon, I imagine. Although very, very close to that area where weed is legal. It's just saying. There's a lot of bands up there that have found a nice little niche. Same way in North Carolina. I know we're in Atlanta, but if you go to like Charlotte or Raleigh, North Carolina, there's like some pretty big funk movements there. It's just the reality of it. But anyways, these guys out of Portland, and they started in Portland in 2018. It's kind of a little more jazz fusion funk band, but they also have like these little elements of R&B and gospel and hip hop that's kind of put in there. But they're more of a jam band type of funk band, but really cool. And check it out. It's called Greater Kind, one word, And here's a little taste of the song called Paid to Play.
Play every day. I can't say away. I'm here on my own, saying it's young, on and on. Play to play, and I can stay away to play every day. I can't say away. I'm here on my own, saying it's young, on and on. Play to play, and I can stay away.
I'm beginning to realize that I am attracted to songs that have insane bass parts.
Yeah, cool, cool.
Everything I'm picking has like these really, really great rolling bass parts. And
Bass is important, man. Bass is where it's all at, man.
yeah, so they're actually on a jazz label called PDX. So pdxjazz.org/greater-kind. One word, greater kind, and they got a brand new album called Change of Plans, and so that's another one.
I think I like this one. I think they similar, like you said about the Skunk Mob. I think it was the artist's direction or the artist's decision, the way they did the mix, because the mix is of the whole song. And I went through the album, and I'm just like, oh wow, interesting. It's not like it doesn't sound mixed the same way a lot of records sound. It's very like old mixtape feeling. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm thinking artist choice, like that was the creative direction or something for it. Very different.
Yeah. All right, we got one more for Soundstage. That's it. One more. And this guy has been around for a long time, and he does a lot of production work, and you'll see him pop up. A lot of people refer to Middleton. Okay, was it Middleton XL? I can't remember his name. There's a lot of producers that are out there that seem to be release material all the friggin' time. Middleton's one. XL Middleton. That's the name. And there was another guy that releases music. Seems like once a month he's got a new album coming out. But this guy, his name is Lyrics Born, and he sits in on a lot of different projects that but he always releases his own little stuff. This particular track features Jojo Velarde, who was actually his wife. And she's a great vocalist, and they got a single called What Dreams Are Made Of. You can find out more information on him on lyrics, like the lyrics of a song, lyricsborn.com. He's an Asian American artist, but he was born in Tokyo, Japan. So he has this really distinct look to him. It's pretty cool. But when he opens his mouth and he raps, he sounds like a Brooklyn street artist. Like it's really unusual. He did this song, I can't remember the year it was. I think it was early 2000s on a Galactic album called From the Corner to the Block. And he had a track, the opening track on that album, matter of fact, called What You Need. What you need. It was really, really cool track. And that song is actually on rotation on Funked Up. So you may have heard that song, but he's just got this really cool street kind of vibe tone to his voice. But when you watch him video wise and you see him, it's like, you see this Asian guy step up and he's like, yo, what you need? It's just like, it's not connecting. It's just so it's alluring because you're like, I just want to sit here and watch you because this is like really trippy. And what's cool about this track is that we talked about, a lot of these tracks have that 70s throwback sound. This one does too, but this is more, I think this is more 80s. It's kind of, it's really weird, but let's check it out. It's the last one we're going to share with you on Soundstage, but I hope you guys like this. This is Lyrics Born. featuring Joyo Velarde, who again, that's his wife. And check us out. It's called What Dreams Are Made Of.
We got the funky, just rap or run live with us. I won't, that's enough. I won't not to judge it. If my brother fall down, I'ma prop him up. And if something from my past keep popping up, remember who you are, not what you was. I ain't trying to live my life anonymous. We want our flowers now, not posthumous. I like my flower down inside my blood. Clump like the trunk on Snuffleupagus. Pumping like a hungry hippopotamus. Horny like rhinoceros' nostrils. Give me that stuff, that funky stuff. Girl, sweet and sticky like Jamocha. Almond fudge down your tongue. Deep inside your lungs. I come to pump y'all face down, bottoms up.
Stars, shooting stars. That's what dreams are made of. That's what dreams are made of. That's what dreams are made of. Stars, shooting stars.
So that's a little taste of that. But that is, if you like that sound, that Lisa said it best. It's kind of got that zap influence. If you like that, you'll like Lyrics Born, because a lot of his stuff is like that. And I was trying to remember who was the other guy that is like XL Middleton, and I'm trying to remember his.
I don't know. This one's pretty good though. While you think about that, I like it. Slaps you in the face. The start of this song, I was right away. I'm thinking skating rink. Like in my mind, I'm hearing roll bounce. You know, I'm just hearing that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
And then it kept going. It was like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah. It's. I like the vibe of it. It was just very, very similar to. It's very similar in that style, and I
Very
was
clean. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, he also worked a lot with Diamond Ortiz. That was the name of the guy that I was trying to remember. For those who don't know who, if you like that sound, you definitely need to check out Diamond Ortiz. I don't know, I can't remember where Diamond Ortiz is from, but I want to say it's like it's like a Miami vibe. It's a Miami funk vibe. And Diamond Ortiz, I literally, no joke, I think this guy puts out like 3 albums a year. It's just, and he does a lot of work with XL Middleton and also this guy Lyrics Born, and Lyrics Born just seems to like do all these guest spots, and it's pretty awesome to listen to him. But I definitely check out the song What You Need, that he opens up on the Galactic album, From the Corner to the Block. It's such a great album. But anyways, those are some tracks that I hope you guys are interested in. Lyricsborn.com if you like that track. There's some bunch of stuff that's coming out. But yeah, he doesn't normally sing. He normally raps, but I mean, it's not bad vocals. He can carry a tune. He stays, and so I mean, it's just, anyways, I love doing Soundstage because I love introducing you guys to new music. And of course, we're coming up towards the end of the year. We just crossed over into October. By the way, time out. Happy birthday, mother. My mother's birthday is today, so I gotta definitely give.
That's awesome. That works.
Definitely got to give props to Mama, and of course, other big things that we had talked about as well that happened on this day. Not quite as far back as my mother was before. Not saying anything by that, but anyway, 33-year anniversary of Diamonds and Pearls. With did you have the 3D? I actually have the Diamond Pearls with the 3D the hologram on it.
I did.
So yes. So yeah, 33 years ago, Diamonds and Pearls was released. Pretty awesome. Yes. Thank you, Dawn, for reminding me. Also, who would we be sitting here in the state of Georgia and not give love to Jimmy Carter, who turned 100 today.
Wow.
To be honest, I did not think that the man would make it to 100 years old, because he was put in hospice back in April of last year. Like, and it was like, there's no way. Because he was already, no offense, but he was looking 90s. He was
struggling. It looked like it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He made it. He made it
made
to 100. He made it to 100, and that is insane. That's great. I'm glad he did, because if anybody deserves it, there is not a president that I think I can say it. I don't think there has been a president that has done more that has put his actions out there as much as Jimmy Carter has. Like, all the work that he's done with Habitat for Humanity and all the humanitarian work that man has done. I can't think of any president that has ever done as much as Jimmy Carter has done for the community and for the world and for just humanitarian efforts. I mean, because you can say what you want, but those Habitat for Humanity buildings, he would be out there. He would be out there building the houses with the people.
Right.
He'll be out there 70, 80 years old,
When work
stuff. And it's just like, dude, who does that? You know, everybody just kind of, well, we're just going to just go and just going to retire now and just enjoy the fruits of our labors. It's like, no, Jimmy's like, there's work to be done. Yeah, I'm 80 something, but I don't care. I can put up a board.
Right.
I can hammer. I'm going to continue doing it. Dude has personally had his hands and worked on hundreds of homes for people. Hundreds of homes. I mean, it's just,
it really has.
Happy birthday, Jimmy. I mean, for real, dude. And he's from Georgia. He's from Georgia. He's from
I got to meet his son. I get to meet Chip, and
very
it
cool.
was interesting because one of my clients, it was Friendship Force, the Friendship Force International. They're the whole group, but they had the main one of their offices here, and that's where I got to meet him. And every time I went to the office, they're just nice people overall. It's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I think it's like there's just people that you're just like, man, these are legit individuals that just, you know, they raise good kids, good morals, good character. You know, there's just not a lot of folks like that. I mean,
right.
But so happy 100th to him. Happy 33rd to Diamonds and Pearls. Happy, I'm not going to divulge your age, mother. Happy birthday for that. Happy 40th to Apollonia 6 album that was released today, 40 years ago. Which is insane. I can't believe it's been 40 years since this album came out. So congratulations to Susan Moonsey and Apollonia Gutero and obviously Brenda Bennett. Awesome. And all the players that played on this album, which kind of went across the map. I mean, I think Jesse's got a little piece on this. Like, everybody's kind of got little pieces in this, you know, mostly from the time and whatnot. But yeah, happy 40th on that as well. So, man, this has been a lot of really, really cool things. And again, to kind of close everything up, I will post the tribute video that I created for Kat, which I can't really take like full credit for. I mean, I gathered a bunch of videos from off of the internet that I did not create, that I did not whatever. And there was some songs that I got from other places, and I separated the videos and audio, and I kind of together. And you kind of saw like the photo shoot that she did. I kind of seamed that into the other stuff that, you know, I seamed it all together and just kind of mixed it up a little bit and did a little bit of a mix, but I didn't really do much audio stuff. But I'm glad that you guys liked it. You guys appeared to, you know,
it was nice. It really was.
So I will put that up on Patreon. So patreon.com/Funkatopia, patreon.com/Funkatopia. I will put that up so you guys can get it and download it and use it for whatever you want to do. And of course, we'll close with mentioning that my immense gratitude for Michael, who was our app developer, who has been
phenomenal in his work.
You have to admit, the app that we have now for Funkatopia is worlds different than that crappy one that we had long ago. The crappy one. a crappy one worked. It served its purpose, but it had little weird and whatnot. But anyways, Uptown Radio Plus, it is uploaded and it is there for Apple and Google Play. We just got to wait for it to get through its verification process. Myself and a handful of other Patreon supporters have been testing it out and using it. But Uptown Radio Plus is only for Patreon supporters, but it will be part of the app. And when you download the new version of the app, it's going to have it in there, but it's so friggin' cool. You're still going to have the two amazing radio stations, the 24/7 Funk radio stations and the 24/7 Prince radio stations. You're still going to have that. But you may notice that the Prince radio station is a little bit different now because all the deep cuts are gone, and the deep cuts are gone. Just because it's, it is what it is. But they're gone on that station, but they've been moved over to Uptown Radio Plus, which has all the stuff, the full Prince discography, including the B-sides, including dance mixes, including concert clips, including just all kinds of stuff. Plus, on top of that, you can request music on the Uptown Radio Plus. So you can request a song and it will tell you, your song will play between this time. So if you want to, you have something to do, you can go, oh, I've got to be back in front of the radio between this time and this time because my song's about to play. And it's so cool. And you'll be able to hear this show on the radio station. You'll be able to hear it starting. If we do, we settle down and we actually do a show next week, you'll be able to hear this show on Uptown Radio Plus exclusively. And again, this is only for Patreon supporters. So if you support Patreon, doesn't matter what's level, just go to patreon.com/Funkatopia. You can go to patreon.com/Funkatopia and you will see, you'll be able to get this. You'll click on premium and you'll see Uptown Radio Plus. You'll click on that. And once you click on that, it will ask you for a password. If you're a Patreon supporter, you know what the password is. Right. And it changes every month too. So, you can't just get it and bail. So you'll get there and you'll be able to do everything and hear everything and enjoy it. And it's going to be amazing. So,
and we appreciate everyone who is here, everyone who comes out and everyone who stays with us throughout these programs and listens to the station. And but the decisions to make sure that the Patreon supporters get more is what drove the changes that we made. And and of course the goal is to continue to give to you guys as much as we can. I mean, that's the point. You should feel that significant, hey, this is why I'm here, and so we really do appreciate everything you guys do.
And I'm going to say this too, because the ASCAP licensing fees are the primary reason why this was necessary.
Right.
Because we have two major events coming up, as you know, Prince Giving, which is the event that we do on Thanksgiving, which plays all of Prince's music in chronological order. And then Princemas, which happens during the week of Christmas, which plays all of Prince's music in alphabetical order. And both of those events will only be on Uptown Radio Plus now. So you have to be a Patreon supporter to enjoy those now. I'm sorry, it's just the reality of it, because that was part of it, because the ASCAP, this is the last time I'll explain it, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's probably not.
Yeah, it probably won't be, but
it's okay.
The way the ASCAP works is that it looks to see how many people are listening and what they listen to, the songs they listen to, and how long they listened. And when we have these big events like Prince Giving and Princemas, and you got hundreds of new people that come and they download the app and they listen to it, and then ASCAP does the numbers. It's like, okay, so now you've got however many people listened and however long they listened, and then the numbers that they come up with, and they say, okay, what artist was played, and then they take a distribution of money and then they put it over to that artist because you played that artist. And it's like a whole thing. It's like a whole math thing, and it's a ridiculous math thing. And during that time, we asked for donations, and the past two Prince Givings and Princemas, we had like minimal donations. Like we had like hundreds of new listeners, but nobody donated. They just tuned in to listen, and then they jet, and then that's it.
Right.
The problem, because we get charged for everybody that listens, and
Well, and on top of that, not only are they looking at all of that information, but that information has to be generated here. Like Mr. Christopher has to actually create the spreadsheets and all the document. You know how much music is involved. He has to actually create it, organize it, set it up, and submit it. So
well,
there's
no, I will correct you on that. The
Please.
system that we have actually automatically.
oh now it's okay. Well,
Yeah, so the
never
new
mind.
system actually does that. So yeah, if I had to do that, you guys would not have a radio station. Let me just say, there is a
We're
system now.
done here.
Yeah, there's a system that actually goes in and it knows how many people listen and when they listen, how long they listen. So, anyways, that's the reason why we had to move it to Patreon for Princegiving and Princemas. But we want to say thank you to the Patreon supporters, and that's how you're going to get the value. So. We guys hope you had a fantastic night. Again, I will make sure that we upload the cat video that we just did, so that you guys can check that out. And hope you had a fantastic night. We'll probably see you next Tuesday. I don't have anything currently on the books, but if we do, we'll see you, and then we'll talk about it, because I want to start getting some of these new funk artists on the show. Right. And sharing their stories and sharing you some of their music and some of the stories that kind of go with it. And I hope you guys tune in, and I hope you guys had a good time tonight honoring Kat. Thank you so much. Shout out to Michael Dean for stopping in at the top of the show, for coming in and talking a little bit about working with Kat and doing those amazing interviews. Check out those interviews with Kat, because she's got a lot of stuff, man. It's just she had a lot of stuff to say. So anyways, thank you so much. I'm your host, Mr. Christopher. This is Jeff Page. Of course. Guess what was that last one? And
go
go
sandwich bag version.
Make sure you bring your sandwich bags to work.
Your sandwich bags.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night. Have a good time, and we'll probably see you in a week or so. Good night.